Hey guys, what's going on? So I had a bit of an oopsie daisy. I had my microphone muted. Normally not a problem, but after my last video, which was my weekly update, I decided that I needed to do at least some of this video with a voiceover or voice recording, just to kind of explain why Final Fantasy Tactics, especially after I was telling you guys how I was, Tuesday is going to be Minecraft and Thursday is going to be Skyrim. I had this idea in my head that I would do a throwback Thursday, Throwback Thursday kind of episodes. So this is kind of like the first of many that I will end up playing. This is Final Fantasy Tactics, like I said. It is an amazing game. I love this game. This is one of the first games I actually started playing back in the day. This, Pokemon, and I talked about another game too, but I can't even still remember for the life of me what that game is called. So this game is recorded on my phone through an GBA emulator. If you don't know what emulators are, you basically can download certain emulators of old consoles. And it plays game files called ROMs. You have, so much freedom. A lot of people have hacked, quote unquote, hacked games that are completely change up the way it's played. Mostly it's just done with Pokemon, just because that's one of the most popular games out there, especially for the Game Boy Advance. But there are some out there of different games. This one is just one of my favorites, and I felt like doing a playthrough of it and kind of showing you guys what it was like back in the day. That it didn't matter about the graphics, even though for a Game Boy Advance game to have graphics like this was kind of speechless. It was amazing. So basically, right here, what I'm doing is basically a tutorial. I'm naming my character. I'm naming him Rug Plays, as in Ruggles Plays, like my game channel. I know, super original, haha. That was also another reason why I decided to do something like this, because I notice a lot of YouTubers don't do things like that. They don't give a shout out to the games that they played when they were kids, and I felt like this would be a fun little thing that I could do every Wednesday. And I'm totally open to any kind of suggestions or anything like that you may have for this game. For any games that, Nintendo 64, you got the NES, you got so many great games out there that I could totally be playing. And I wanted to give a huge shout out to the games that kind of started it all in the world of gaming. A little more about Final Fantasy games, though. Sorry, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but Final Fantasy has been one of my favorite games to play since, actually, to be honest, Final Fantasy VIII. I know a lot of people say Final Fantasy VII was their favorite, but Final Fantasy VIII is what made me love the Final Fantasy games. And this game actually introduced Final Fantasy into my life, and Final Fantasy VIII was the first Final Fantasy game I played on the the big rig consoles, PS1 and stuff like that. Then I played Final Fantasy VII, which I really enjoyed. It was a really good game. Those two were my favorite. Probably had my favorite story. This was probably my third favorite story out of them. So if we move on, we do have other Final Fantasy games, but the one I really want to talk about is Final Fantasy 15. The fact that this game has come so far, and that game looks so beautiful, and I just absolutely have fallen in love with it, and I can't wait for the Final Fantasy VII remake. Also, the Final Fantasy King's Glaive movie was absolutely awesome. I watched it the other night, and it was fantastic, and I loved it. Which also gave me another inspiration to do something like this. Jeez, I don't know if I could redo everything, but I you know, whatever. I will record my voice for some of this and kind of just let it play out on its own through the rest of the video. If you guys enjoyed this video and you do definitely want to see more, and next time I won't, you know, forget that mute button, which hopefully I didn't do it this time. Let me check real quick. Nope, it is on and then recording. Perfect. I didn't forget it this time. That would kind of suck for me because I have to go to bed pretty soon. And now, instead of having this recording while not recording, instead of being closer to being done with the editing, I now have to edit, and then I have to basically, dang, what was I talking about? Sorry, now I have to wait for it to finish editing, finish rendering, and then upload this freaking video, guys. Oh man, I love you guys, but dang. Yeah, so basically throughout the video I just talked about how I appreciate you guys. I talked a little bit about what's going on. If you guys don't know what Final Fantasy is, you could see it right now. But it is a turn-based strategy type game. You generally have one or more characters in your party, and you have to defeat the enemies. This first match is kind of like just a tutorial. You can't possibly win this tutorial, which I found out through the course of it, because you do like 1 damage to these people, and they all have like 20 or higher HP. But it's a very well written game. It's very fun if you like turn-based strategy type games. Yeah, so with this game, it depends all on positioning. If you got the higher ground, generally you're gonna, I mean, you get a percentage on how accurate you are. If you have your back turned towards an enemy, they are more likely to do a critical hit. Just simple things like that. I'm trying to think. I mean, there's other games that are like that are really good. This is definitely one of my favorite ones, especially from my Game Boy Advance days. So we're gonna hopefully do a playthrough of this and hopefully get it done and over. By the end of this video, I have only gone to my first actual fighting. After my first actual fighting mission, I'm still talking to a creature, Final Fantasy type creature. Also, man, I should do a little bit of backstory, huh? So the backstory of this game is, this is basically the normal world, and you're at the schoolyard, and you are basically just having a snowball fight with these other kids that are picking on one of your friends. So this is the normal world. They read a book, an enchanted book, that sends them to a different type of world, like kind of like the world of Final Fantasy. You know, back in Final Fantasy like 7 Days, where it had different types of creatures and things like that. There was another Final Fantasy game that I was absolutely in love with. Was it? I don't think it was Final Fantasy 9. 10. What was that one? I don't remember. There's tons of Final Fantasy games. I mean, well, there's like 15 plus like 2 or 3. But yeah, Final Fantasy games have always been kind of crazy, and their storylines are always, you know, fantasy storylines, you know, things that you'd wish for, you know, if you were in these kids' shoes, a better world, more interesting world, stuff like that. So I am proud to announce that I have done this. Probably get other YouTubers, you know, because I'm so awesome. Other YouTubers will start doing this now. Man, I shouldn't have started anything. Oh well. But if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you guys have any other suggestions on other you know, throwback games that you want me to look at, play, whatever you want me to do with them, I will see about playing them, and I will put them on the next video. If you guys don't give me any suggestions, it will be a part 2 of Final Fantasy Tactics. And if you guys just want to see Final Fantasy Tactics, let me know. I will definitely give this game a huge shout out. I love this game. Like I said before, multiple times. Now I'm sounding creepy. But, you know, this game's old, so it's not, like, too creepy. It's not like I'm a pedophile or anything. It's just like, yeah, you know. But, yeah, it just hits home for me, guys. I mean, I'm 25 years old. Still freaking playing games. Still wishing. Still having the same dreams I did back in the day when I was like, I wish I could just make money. And I don't make any freaking money on YouTube. Are you guys kidding me? Oh, gosh. I do this basically for fun, a hobby, and it's just fills up my time very nicely. It gives me something to do other than just work all the time, which is normally what I do. But if you guys, oh well, I'm not gonna say it, but I will see you guys on the next video. I hope to see you guys on the next video. I will talk to you guys later. You have an awesome day and enjoy the rest of this amazing game, and I will definitely be back for the next video.